Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, My Journey to Self-Love. If you're new here, my name is Sheila. Welcome and thank you for being here. This channel is all about self-love, healing, and navigating life as a single mom. Thank you so much for joining, and I want to give a special thanks to all my new subscribers. Thank you so much. It means the world to me that you're subscribing to my channel, that you like my content, that you resonate with my content. I appreciate you all so much. I am so happy we are creating an amazing community where we can help each other through our journey in life. So thank you all for subscribing. Today I want to talk about a topic that is very close to my heart, and it's shaped my life more than I could ever imagine. I want to talk about how I survived a narcissistic relationship and how I fought to create a better life for my kids and I. You have seen my previous video where I was speaking very emotionally about gaining sole custody of my children at court. You'll see that it's a very emotional and very deep topic for me. If you haven't seen this video, go watch it. I will post the link down below on the description box. So it'll give you just a quick update about the situation, but I will detail more in depth of my relationship and how I was able to gain sole custody of my children in the process. So for years, I was in a relationship that was incredibly difficult for me. Emotionally draining, painful, full of deceit, full of lies. I don't want to go too much into detail how I met this person, but I will say that I was in a place where I felt vulnerable for a couple of years. I had come off of a different relationship that was a very long relationship for me, like over 9 years. I would say my first love, real relationship. But that relationship was different because although it was a much better relationship for me, I was very young and I felt like I needed to move on after so many years. I do believe that vulnerability that I spoke about attracted a toxic relationship in my life. And it took me about 3 years. That's about the time that I was with this person. I would say about 2 years, 2.5 years to finally realize that I was in a toxic relationship and I was dealing with narcissistic behaviors from this person. I am not going to say that I was naive. I think for me, it was because I consider myself like a very strong person emotionally. And I never thought I was going to find myself in a toxic relationship the way that it was or the way that it happened. I always saw people for their good. I always saw the good in people. Like, I know people do shitty things. I know that people are deceitful or like cheaters. I never thought that it would, to be honest, I never thought that was going to happen to me. Maybe I thought that it could happen at some point, someone could do something, but I always saw the good in people. I always saw that maybe this person is not perfect. We're not all, we're all not perfect. We make mistakes. And that I could help this person. I just never saw the impact it can make in my life to let a toxic relationship go on the way that I did. Or, I saw the red flags. I saw little things that, here and there that made me question this person more and more. And it took some time for me to actually say, wow. Yeah, and it was like, wow, when I finally realized that my eyes had opened to the situation that I was in a toxic relationship, narcissistic relationship of some sort. I had no idea what narcissism was. I'm not even gonna kid you. Like, I had gone through really good relationships, and I had no idea that I was in a narcissistic, toxic relationship until I started to look for the signs. I started to read about it. I'm like, why am I feeling a certain way? Why am I feeling worthless? Why am I doubting myself? Why do I feel like I'm losing touch with myself? Why do I feel like I have to follow this person around? I feel manipulated by this person. He's making me feel so small, so sad all the time. And you know what the funny thing is? That when you're in a type of relationship like that, you don't realize. You see little things. You see things happening. You know, the red flags, the deceit, little lies here and there. And you're kind of like in such a whirlwind, in such a manipulated situation that you don't even have time to think and to assess the situation. Because I feel like that's what narcissists do. They try to keep you in a chaotic environment so that you don't realize that something's actually happening to you. And that's how I felt. I was in such a chaotic relationship in many levels that I just had no time to assess what was happening to me. It just went from one thing to the other. Like, this, have fun here, let's do this, let's do that. Everything was manipulated. And as time goes on, it just becomes more and more like the pressure becomes more. You are doing more with this person. They want you to participate in more things. They want to take you outside of your world. Like, let's say my world with my family and my friends that I had before, and, you know, jobs that I had before, careers. They want to eventually shift you to their world. You could have a perfect career. I had a great career, it wasn't the perfect world, but it was pretty great. I felt like I'm a professional. I'm making my own money. I'm doing great. That all starts to shift into a different life that you didn't have before, and you find yourself in a different place in your life, and you're like, wait. And all of a sudden, I find myself with different friends in a different environment. And yes, to be honest, for me, that was all exciting, because I felt like my life was lacking like excitement for like a little while. And I felt like I was, doing something different, kind of reckless in a way. But never once I thought that this was something that's going to impact me or hurt me so much how it did. And it's crazy how I was shifting to a completely new reality, all by manipulation. And this relationship started, everything happened just so fast. It was the course of a summer, 3 months. I had gone in a relationship with this guy. We started hanging out everywhere, like literally everywhere. He found me somewhere in social media, and it was like friends of friends. We had gone to different concerts. He saw me. He had already saw me, from afar, and had already made plans to meet with me and to hang out with me as much as he could. And it just happened. I would see this guy everywhere, and I feel like he was watching me. Eventually, I realized that he probably was. But the way these manipulators do it, it's crazy. I don't want to go too much of a tangent here, but by the end of a summer that I spent with him, just having fun, and to me it was like, let's just have fun. I'm going to have fun this summer, whatever, By the fall, I'm going to go back to my career, because I was in the midst of shifting to another job. I had left my job because my company had moved to another city. So I got a severance package, and I was like, let me just have fun, and then by the fall I'll have another job. I never had issues getting jobs. It was so good in what I did in my career. Like, I had a lot of luck with jobs. What happens is that at the end of the summer, after I had just been tired of running around with this guy, I become pregnant. Yeah. At this point, I am pregnant with my first child. I've never been pregnant in my life. You can just imagine, what's going through my mind. Do I keep this child or not? Because this is someone that I don't even know. I met him 3 months ago. I don't even know his family. I don't even know who this person is, in depth. I just see the outside. You see how crazy he was, and fun and love, fun-loving person. But who is he really, right? And I had to make a decision. What am I going to do? I don't want to have an abortion because it's my first child. I want to have this child. And I had to make that decision. So after having a heart-to-heart talk with him, which eventually turned out to be just a bunch of lies, I decided that I was going to keep the child, and I wanted to be pregnant. And I wanted to embrace my first pregnancy. But again, that didn't come with all the happiness in the world that I was expecting. It came with so much turmoil and so much pain, so much stress. As I got to learn more about this person, as I got to see, I thought, we had a conversation about him, getting sober, being more stable. If he wanted to do this with me, I said, this is what we have to do. And he's like, yeah, I'm going to be such a great father. I'm going to take care of you, blah, 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 blah. All of these lies. And I said, okay, part of me is like, I know whatever comes, I will be strong and I will take care of myself. And I will make things happen for my child, whatever happens. So I kind of I went with the flow. And I had just thinking about it, I just wanted to have this child. But it was hell. It was hell, guys. I did my very best to keep things together. It was so stressful. I used every ounce of my being to make things work. Everything. And the more I did, the more he put me down, the more he called me names, the more he belittled me, the more I tried to, make a home for us, the more he was chaotic. The more I met his family, the more crazy I realized they were. And it just became a domino effect from there. It affected my life so much. I didn't realize how much I was sacrificing myself for this person. And, all those things just made me more and more aware of what I was going through, how much my life has changed at that point. But there came a point when I realized that I wasn't doing this just for me anymore. I was doing this for my kid. And I realized that not only was this just affecting me, being in a toxic environment with a toxic family and a toxic partner was going to start to affect my child. Because I know no matter what, I was going to do everything possible that my kid grows up in an environment that was safe for him, he felt loved, that he felt valued, and that he didn't get to see what I was going through or experience what I was going through. And at that point, when my child was about 6 months, I decided that I was going to leave the relationship and move out of the home that I lived with him. And honestly, that realization sparked something really, really strong for me. And not only did I deserve to be in a healthy relationship, but also my kids and my future kids, right, deserved it too. That realization gave me the strength to just start looking for a way out, to start creating a healthier life for myself. And nothing was going to stop me from doing that at that point. And unfortunately, you go back and forth when you're in these relationships. They find a way to manipulate your feelings so much that if you're not paying attention, you'll just stay in a relationship like that. But I fought my way out. At that point, I was living with him and his family. And when I left, I remember the beginning of that year, I went back I was in such a vulnerable space that I had not been able to get the job that I wanted because that summer I became pregnant. I was financially stressed at that point. I had basically no place to live, except for me having to go back to my parents, which I did. You find yourself like I said, in a completely different place than you ever was in your life when you're in a toxic relationship. You're left with nothing. And that's how I felt. I felt like I was a completely different person from where I was. A professional, mature woman that I was. I was not that anymore. I was this vulnerable, unhappy, sad, person. And that hurt me a lot. It hurt me so much because during the process, I saw him cheat on me. I saw him put me down many times. I was the mother of his child. He would call me whore. He would call me all kinds of names. But no, it didn't stop there. I had another child with this person. Oh, yes, I did. Leaving these kind of relationships it's a feat. It's a very, very difficult thing to do. It wasn't that much longer. I really became pregnant very closely to my last pregnancy. My children are literally 14 months apart. So it was very quickly. But by my second child, by the time he was about 3-4 months, I was done. I was completely done with this person. And leaving the relationship was just the first step. Then came the legal challenges. Because I knew that in order to give my kids the stable future that they needed, I had to fight for it. It wasn't going to come easy. You're dealing with narcissists, not just the partner that I had, not just the father of my children, but the family. They were there too. They were part of it. I had a whole army of people that were trying to bring me down. And it wasn't easy. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's probably the hardest thing I've ever had to fight in my life. It was a really, really tough process. Lots of ups and downs. Lots. I just kept reminding myself that everything happens for a reason. And I know the universe and God put these challenges in your life to make you stronger, to make sure that you're able to surpass or pass the test of life. And it wasn't about winning or losing. I felt like I had lost so much of myself. But I gained so much because I gained two beautiful children that I love so much. And I know that I would go to the end of the world for them. It was about what was the best for my children. And I did that. I did everything possible to make our lives better. I read about everything. I read all the legal documents. I learned about legal procedures. I went back to school. I learned new skills. I did everything possible to learn about toxic relationships and how to deal with toxic people. I did everything possible to make sure my kids had food. They were healthy. They were taken care of. Anything a loving mom, everything and anything that a loving mom will do, I've been able to do for my children and raise them all by myself. Yeah, there were a lot of people bringing me down, but I persevered. You have to be strong, and you have to have faith, and you have to know that everything is going to be okay no matter what. And I want to talk about a little bit about how that process was. It was very lonely because even though I had family members that were there to help me, there were many people that didn't believe I was going through abuse, emotional abuse, narcissistic abuse. People don't understand that. They think you're just exaggerating things. And this person kind of knew my family, so he went out there and, made himself look good, as if, I'm the crazy one. I'm the one making things up. That's what narcissists do. They make everybody make you seem like you're the crazy one, that you're the one that's just not letting him see his kids and all of this stuff. I was alone on this. I felt like I was alone for a while, fighting. Once you break away from a narcissist, they will seek revenge. They will find a way to destroy you even more. And he did. He tried. And his family too. That's why I said this is such a lonely process, because at that point, you have to protect yourself so well by cutting off the people, the things that no longer served you. And I had to cut away so many people, so many friends, mutual friends that would take his side, that were taking his side, and that would believe him more than they ever believed me. I had to block all those people, cut so many people out of my life. And it was a lonely process. It sucked, but it was for the better. These narcissists, they started a smear campaign to make sure they look good in front of everyone else's eyes. But I didn't care about any of that. I knew deep inside that I was right. And I did the right thing. And I did nothing to this person to deserve what he put me through and what he's putting his kids through. Nothing. Everything I did was to love him, was to try to love him. But you can love someone that can't love themselves. They don't feel love. They can't feel love for anyone. And I learned that. So I found the strength to get out of a relationship like this and seek help, therapy, and learn. I learned to survive on my own. A lot of times I had no one there. Even though I had great family support, I didn't feel comfortable talking about it with my family, to be honest. And even if I did, I feel like they were like on the fence, like they wouldn't believe everything that I was going through. Not until later on, anyways. So I fought on my own. I learned to fight on my own. I found the professional help that I needed. I did everything on my own. I read about what I needed to read. I did all the legal proceedings all by myself. I found my way. You find your way. When you believe in God, when you believe in yourself, you will find a way. Trust me. I did. And I'm here to tell my story. And for the people that were there to support me, that always believed in me, I'm forever grateful. Forever grateful. Because I felt like so alone during the process, like I said. So alone. It was so hard. I cried so much. I didn't sleep for years. Just taking care of my kids. Babies. They were literally babies. Almost like twins. And it was so much work. But I survived. I got through it. I was strong as a rock. And I always had the faith. Even when I was able to break away from this person, the legal challenges came through. I've had really bad, a really bad experience legally at first. I didn't have a good attorney. The judges were just cruel to me. They allowed my kids to go unsupervised with this person. This is someone that was very toxic, very unhealthy, on drugs at some point. And I fought for my kids so bad that they didn't have to go through what I went through with this family and this person. And unfortunately, they had to go through some things. And as time went on, legally became a little bit better because I had a new attorney. She was so great to me and my kids. And I feel like I was learning more and more about how to deal with this kind of person and to, just go through the whole process much easier than it ever was. He will violate orders. He did all kinds of things that were just terrible and just chaotic. But I had learned so much how to liberate myself from him, how to detach myself from his BS, and how to protect my children. And that became so important in my life. Of course, the whole COVID situation put a big delay on this case. And it took me 7 years. 7 years for me to settle this case and to finally get sole custody of my children. Something that's really hard to do in the state of New York where I am, because judges favor joint custody. I cannot even imagine myself having joint custody with a person like this. But we fought very, very hard for that. And I'm so proud of myself. I'm so proud of the people that supported me through this process, my attorney, my family, because it was not easy. It was really, really hard. When I finally recently got granted sole custody, I felt like the weight of the world was lifted off my shoulders, literally. That was a really, really tough chapter of my life. And as challenging as it was, it really taught me resilience. It made me realize how strong of a person I really am. What a great, dedicated mother I've been to my kids, protecting them through this process. My kids finally have a fresh start. Of course, there's some challenges because the kids still have visitations with him. But it's indeed a fresh start, one that is full of hope, peace, you know. I finally broke away from this person. I've focused nothing more than rebuilding, healing myself, and growing together as a family with my kids. My story is the reason why I started this channel. Because I hope so much that my story can someday help someone else, can resonate with someone else, anyone that's going through this, can provide some hope that you can do this, you can get away from a situation like this if you really put your heart into it, if you really believe in yourself. For anyone who may be going through something similar, I want you to know that you're not alone. You're not alone. We're here for you. It is a difficult journey, but finding the courage within yourself to make the change can open the door to a better life. It will. It had for me, and it will for you too. You got to find that courage within yourself to not let yourself manipulate it, to not let yourself be stepped on. You're nobody's doormat. You're a strong person. You're a strong woman. You're a strong man. You can do this. Okay? You don't have to figure it all out today. Take steps. You just need to take the first step, either to leave a toxic relationship, to leave that person that's no longer for you. Then take the next step to protect your children, to better your life, to find joy and love in the life you deserve. Okay? Thank you for listening to my story. I appreciate you guys so much for taking the time. I hope it brings comfort to anyone that is listening today, that is struggling with something like this. And I hope it reminds you that no matter how difficult things look, no matter how dark things feel in your life, there's always a path forward, okay? There's always a way out. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to join me on this journey of self-love and healing. Let's keep building each other up. Let's keep taking care of each other one step at a time, okay? Don't forget to leave your comments. I would love to hear your story if it resonated with you. I would love to help you out. Thank you so much again. Take care, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to join me on this journey of self-love and healing. Let's keep building each other up. Let's keep taking care of each other one step at a time, okay? Don't forget to leave your comments. I would love to hear your story if it resonated with you. I would love to help you out. Thank you so much again. Take care, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.